Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, what's going on?
What it do? What it do? It's to Carl Williams, pay attention. And I'm with the GOAT of a coach.
Carla Harris, let's get it.
Hey, listen, starting right off, updates on BG, Brittany Griner in Russia. Still same situation. Our prayers, our thoughts goes out to her, her family, just for her mental sake. Just for her mental sake. Like that has to be so grinding and grueling because you're missing certain things with your family. And time is something that you can't get back. Money, you can replenish money, you can make money, but you cannot get the time back.
Right, you can't get that time back. Something I didn't tell you that I did see. Someone posted a picture of her holding a picture of the All-Star game, where I think the second half everybody had on the 42 on their jerseys.
Yep.
So that was like, woo, that was deep for her to, she was able to see it, get a picture of it and know that she's not forgotten.
Right.
We're not just going on and forgetting about you. So that was really, I love the way the WNBA is working to keep her alive and in terms of keeping her name out in the forefront of everything. So I mean that's big, and that I hope that helps her, or is a part of what helps her keep going, keep fighting mentally.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Like I said, thoughts and prayers out to BG and her family, even extended family, teammates, WNBA, everybody involved.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
I know we never really talk about ourselves a lot, but we just did something with the Fort Lauderdale Black Association, Police Officers Black Association, where we spoke to the youth.
Yeah,
How
it was
how was
amazing.
your experience with that? How did you
It was
like that?
amazing. That was my first time really getting to see you speak like that, though. So that was cool in person to see you speak like that to the youth, and it was it was empowering, thought provoking. That you had them all tuned in, and you gave an amazing message to them that I hope it resonates with somebody and it sticks with somebody the rest of their life, and pushes them to their own greatness. And then my sessions were one on was smaller. They were classroom sessions, and had a great time speaking to the kids. I really love it. I mean, it just rejuvenates me. It's a passion for me to be able to give back. Being that I just felt like I was in their shoes. I remember being in their shoes, so it feels great to be able to go into rooms and have an opportunity to give back to them, and hopefully push them, like I say, push them to greatness.
Yeah, listen, notesfromacoach.org. You can go get the book. You can go get the
Appreciate
workbook.
it.
I don't care how old you are. Everybody needs notes from a coach. Let me tell you something. No matter what stage you are in life, in your career, we all need a coach because that person holds us accountable, pushes us to our limits, pushes us towards our greatness.
Yeah.
In any respective field that you've been in, I know that you've had a coach, you've had a mentor that pushed you along the way. I definitely had that in my life. So, notesfromacoach.org. Go check it out, make it happen. Because I know the coach ain't gonna tell you to go there, so I'll tell you guys to go there
I appreciate you, teammate. Appreciate you. Appreciate
for
you.
sure, for sure.
Hey,
So,
so what we got in other news? We got the SBs. They
ah,
slighted the young lady, Miss Boston, over at South Carolina. What's your take on that?
all right. So, for those of you that don't know, Aaliyah Boston, South Carolina, Defensive Player of the Year, National Player of the Year, SEC Player of the Year, winner of the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship, plays under the tutelage of Don Staley, and she was not invited to the ESPYs.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. Is all I'm saying. If someone did all of that, how are they not invited? So you want to talk about the response that ESPN on the ESPYs gave of why?
Let's first talk about, I like how Coach Staley, she don't mind stepping on toes. Like I've been telling y'all, like she gonna use her platform. So I love how she steps out there and lets you know how she feels about it. But then let me ask you this before we talk about their response. did they invite the male player
Absolutely.
there? Oh, wow.
I'm quite sure. I mean, I'm assuming they tell you
Yeah,
not to assume, but I'm quite sure.
sure.
Why not?
So what you think about? Just tell us about their response.
Okay, so the response that the SB's response, because you know, Coach Staley came out with hers like, how is this make it make sense? How
Right.
is she not invited with all of the accolades and winning? How is
Mm-hmm.
she not invited? And the response from ESPN was, COVID, COVID. A lot of people throwing that COVID out there. When you don't want to do something, it's easy to just say COVID, and
Yeah.
people kind of pretty much back off you. But yeah, COVID restrictions, and they said that they were only pretty much inviting the award recipients that were going to be on camera during the live broadcast. So, question again: if the male counterpart to the same award is going to be live and broadcast, is the woman not?
That's crazy. I mean, we throw that 5 letter word out there, right? Like like anytime just say that 5 letter word and everybody says, okay, let me back off, let me leave it alone. But my issue is we allowed these young ladies and young men to play full games with a full arena. So now we want to go into, oh, we have to, a capacity. Come on now, come on. Like people worked all their lives for this opportunity. The world is pretty much back open. It's not like we were in, 19 and 20. We're back. So I mean, I feel bad for her, but her. If you ever watched her, I've never heard her step out of line like she made a little comment like, look at me now after they had the crying meme going for that year. But other than that, she's a top notch, stellar, and focused young lady. So I feel bad for her, but we got to keep pushing now. We got to keep pushing for equality across the board. We have to keep pushing for ladies to be recognized and appreciated for what they bring to the table.
Absolutely. Listen, the world doesn't function without women. Everybody that's born into this world, you are born of a woman.
Yeah.
No matter how you try to chop it up,
Yeah.
we all came in this world the same way, through a woman.
Right.
That's your power. And to constantly, we're 50 years away from Title IX, and to constantly, consistently still be pushed to the back burner, it's almost like a slap in the face. But
Right.
I want to put something up that I want to challenge the women now, because to me, this is a call out. Let me put this up.
Okay.
So check this out. And we read this. Look at the WNBA. They have been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male subsidized league. We gave you a league and none of you showed up. Where are all of the feminists that play? That place should be packed with feminists, faces painted, wearing jerseys, going effing nuts like you guys do. This is what Burr said. None of you went to the effing games. You failed them. Not me, not men. Women failed the WNBA. Ladies, name your top 5 WNBA players of all time. Name 5 WNBA teams. Name the WNBA team in your city. You can't do it. That's a call out.
Mm.
That's a call out. But you know what? As a woman, accept the challenge, step up to the challenge, and make it be no longer that. Like that can't be the excuse anymore that you haven't supported that. So if we come out and show our support for us, that conversation is null and void now. Because
Yeah.
as you can see, the guys of the NBA, they're coming out supporting the WNBA. That's a
Yeah.
fact. We see that. So now we can get the women on board to do the same. We have a totally different story, and I could get deep into this issue, but this ain't that show.
Well, for us, we could of course name teams, name players. We don't have one in our city anymore, so that part we could do. If we had one in our city, I would definitely go to the games. I don't have a
Absolutely.
problem, but I do want to say he did make sense. Like
Mhm.
I can't sit here and just say, oh, he's talking out of his mouth. No, he made some sense. Like we don't go out enough. The ones that do have teams in their cities, we don't go out enough to support those programs. Those ladies out there playing every night. So
Right.
and they are subsidized, by the NBA. So we got to get in those seats. We have to find a way to get in those seats. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I think we probably have more support in collegiate women's
Definitely.
basketball than we do in the WNBA for the WNBA games. But
Oh,
I
most
hope we can
definitely.
change it.
No, in to your point, most definitely, because I feel like in college you have an alumni base, right? Everybody's proud to be from the school they're from. Like you gonna rep the
Okay.
U, I'm gonna rep the Aggies all day long, and everyone's proud to be there. Now, when you go off into the professional ranks, some people lose their following because it's no longer attached to the school. The attachment is to the school, and you play
Hmm.
for that school, and they want to they feel a part of because it's the school that they graduated from.
Right.
With the professional sports, it's more of a business. They don't necessarily feel the attachment unless they're a true fan. But I think the collegiate side of things, you feel like you're a true fan, and you locked in. It's like my blood, sweat, and tears is in here too. Like I
Yeah,
had to get up, go to class, and everything too. So I can
definitely.
see that.
I agree. I definitely see a little difference in the feeling.
Yeah,
Like, man, I'm in here running these sprints. I'm out here doing all this. And so I'm cheering for everything Hurricane. I wasn't on the baseball team, but you said the Hurricane baseball team playing. I'm
right.
cheering for, because I remember my sacrifice and to be a part of the program. So I definitely agree with that buy-in. That's what it really is, a buy-in, and we don't
Yep.
have enough buy-in for the professional women's teams. So, and we could change that. I don't like what he said, but
Right.
I get what he said. It's one of those type of things. I don't really like it, but I definitely get it. I definitely understand it, and I hope we can find a way to change it. Now, I believe a lot of those NBA men are supporting the league more because a lot of them have daughters now, and so
Absolutely.
they're watching. Rest in peace to Gigi, but Kobe and Kobe and Gigi, but he had her coming up, and so some of those same guys now their daughters are playing or want to play or love the game because they've grown up around the game. So definitely step and say like, "Whoa, my daughter could be out there one day, so let me give some support to it." So I mean, I definitely understand that we got to find a way to change it. Won't be changed overnight, but I'm thankful for the years that we've been able to sustain the league, and keep it going. You know,
Yeah, 25 years. I mean, to think about it, everybody thought that it wouldn't happen.
right? It wouldn't last.
Everybody thought it wouldn't happen, and it's still here. So that's huge. That's big, and something that we can definitely hang our hats on.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. We're getting a special guest on. We're just trying to get him
Work
online,
out
but
some
yeah.
technicalities.
Yeah, so let me just resend something to him real quick. But we're getting him on. I'm excited to have him on here because I don't like how Dade County borrowed him up over there. You know.
Yeah, yeah, we done got them the crossover counties. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that soon. But no, we're excited to have them on, and we're excited. Almost back to school time. Get these kids out of the house and prepared to get back in on school, and we just want to keep everybody safe. We're hoping that provisions are being made to keep everybody safe. And while you're doing that, let's just talk a little bit about mental health. I spoke at another function. Shout out to Swag and Christina Rozier with the Swag Foundation, and talking to those young kids, and a lot of them, just afraid about going back to school, with everything taking place. And we talked about bullying, and we talked about being a bully, being bullied, how it feels, and what we don't talk about enough as the adults is a lot of those things stem from someone being bullied and then them not being able to one cope with the feelings, and they use the unfortunately gun violence to act out their feelings. So I definitely think we need to put something in place to deal with the bullying, and discuss with our students about how it makes people feel, and you don't want that person to act out in that way. So you think it's all games and jokes and laughs, and then when they come back with gun violence, it's like, wow, why I didn't know they were gonna respond that way. Well, everybody's mental health is not the same, so it's important to deal with that and to know that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I know when I was in school, we didn't have an emphasis on that. And now, I'm glad that we do have that emphasis on there. So, I'm definitely, that's much needed in our community. Um,
Right. So why? Hey, let's tackle some of these questions. We got Mona. Mona, shout
okay.
out to my love, Mona. Mona. She said, "What can be done to change the narrative?" As we were talking about the WNBA, and who would assume that responsibility to change that narrative? And before we answer, shout out to Sandy. Appreciate you, for being on. But what can we do to change the narrative? I mean, what do you think, T?
I feel like if we have to keep exposing the league, and what I mean by that is just we use social media for what it is. It's free advertising and marketing. So if the more people put it out there and put it in people's faces, literally flooding the market with it, like a
Mhm.
politician when they are going for office.
Right.
Flood the market. The more people see it, the more they'll ask questions and inquire about it. So I think we do that, it definitely would change the game.
So we would put that responsibility to answer the second part of her question. Would we put that responsibility on the league's marketing team?
I would put it. I mean, they should do that, but let's go to the people now because us as fans, we got to do better too.
How about this? How about I don't know. I don't see enough about the scheduling. Like I can always find out when there's an NBA game or that there is an NBA game coming on. I don't see enough commercial to say, hey, the Sky and the Storm Wednesday night on TNT
Right.
or whatever they're going to show them on, or if they're going to show them.
Right. No, I agree.
Streaming. It could be a streaming app,
Yep.
but I don't see enough advertisement to let me know. Like I had an alert come to my phone maybe 2 or 3 hours ago or so saying it's a close game between, I believe, Chicago Sky and somebody. It may have been a Storm. But like, wow, like why didn't I get an alert to say there's a WNBA game on? Then I could
Right.
have. You gonna tell me when it's about to be over that is on?
Right.
So that's crazy.
I got you.
Lawrence. Lawrence says maybe the WNBA should focus on drafting someone from that university within that state the fans can identify with.
That's tough.
So,
That's tough. That's tough because you want to win, and if that player isn't that type of caliber player, it changes the dynamic. So that's tough. That's tough.
yeah.
I get it, but that's
I
tough.
get what he's saying, but it would be difficult because it's not like a college saying I'm going to recruit a high school player. Even now, let's say this: you look on the University of Miami women's. I don't think the men either, but I could be wrong about the men. There's only one South Florida player that I know of on the women's team, and she's from Pompano. Okay, so nobody from Miami. Now, does that mean we don't have enough quality athletes, or did athletes did not want to go to the University of Miami? I'm not sure. Um, that being said, it would be difficult for us to say, "Where's the team? Chicago Sky. You need to um, draft somebody from. Give me a college.
Yeah.
I don't even know a quality college maybe in Chicago that may. I'm not knocking. Lord forgive me. I don't want to offend anybody. But do any of those colleges have a player of that caliber to play in the WNBA? So that would be tough, Lawrence. I see your point, but that would be a tough one. And Mona said, yeah, more effective public relations,
Yeah.
and that falls back on the league. That onus goes back on the league. I don't know what their budget for their public relations and marketing and social media and all. But like you say, it's free. You can pay for some ads, but they need to have a team together to really push that initiative in our face, and not just when it's playoff time. A lot of times we don't really know about it until it's playoff time, and then all of a sudden, oh, the playoffs started, and then we see all these games back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
But the whole time we've missed, all the full season of the games.
But hey,
So
look, we got our special guest, so we're gonna bring him on in, the legend himself, Mr.
yo,
Randall.
Hello, hello, hello.
how you doing,
Coach,
Coach?
I'm doing great. How are you all?
Oh, we
I'm
blessed, we blessed, we blessed.
I
So
just gotta
excited to have
say,
you.
Okay.
I'm not used to seeing you in the color scheme you
Colors,
in
look at
right
that.
now. You know,
Oh goodness,
You know, Change,
Tell us who.
change
Tell
is
us
good.
about.
Change is
Change
Tell us
is
good.
good.
about Melvin. Change is good. That's good. That's a good one, Coach.
T Will,
It's
I'm gonna
not
kick
always
it off
comfortable.
by I'm gonna go way back, and this may be off a little bit, but the young lady next to you, that was my hoop it up girlfriend back in the day. We used to bump into one another and give one another advice and playing that hoop it up. I would always see her, but I'm telling you now off the record, um, Carla was my hoop it up girlfriend.
We sure used to be out there in that sun. You know we love
Yes,
basketball
Lord.
out there playing that hoop it up, boy. I tell you,
Oh yeah,
didn't want to miss a
that was some
tournament.
days.
I appreciate you, Coach. So to introduce the people, like we don't really try to. We like to take it 2 minutes or so and introduce the people and let them know who is Coach Melvin Randall.
Well, Coach Melvin Randall, born and raised in Fort Lauderdale, graduate of South Plantation High School, where I played ball and ran track. And then I was lucky enough to get a scholarship to Mercer University in Macon, Georgia, and played basketball 4 years there. And came out and started teaching. My first job was at South Plantation, teaching and coaching a little bit. My high school coach was still there, and then I went out on my own and went to Blanche Ely, was called Ely at the time, and stayed for about a year and a half. And Deerfield opened up as the head boys basketball coach, and then I applied for that and got it, and stayed there for 8 years and was blessed with 2 state titles there, and then went back home to Ely because that job opened up, and I was there for 21 years and managed to get 7 state titles out of there while I was there. So now I'm at Miami Northwestern, and my goal is to come out of there with at least 1 state title.
All right. You start one. So I mean, my numbers right. I'm not the best mathematician, but that's 9 titles, Coach.
That's 9. Yes, ma'am. Blessed,
9
very
states.
blessed.
And he's
That's
being modest because Coach has won the USA High School Coach of the Year. He left that out. He
Yeah,
left that out.
yeah.
Mhm.
2015 was voted as the National Coach of the Year.
Awesome.
That is
Awesome.
phenomenal.
So tell us this. You've done the crossover. You've crossed over from, I mean, let me say this. You've crossed over a few times, like you just told in your introduction. But now you did like a big crossover in terms of, being a Broward man, and now, made that big leap of, change and faith to come on over to Dade County 305. And you didn't play around. Like, you went to one of the places that I would say it's probably one of the most difficult places to coach. One, because your alumni base are a beast.
Oh yes,
So
yes, yes
they
they are.
they are something else, which I love because they
Right.
support their program. But I know as a coach, and you being the coach that you are, you know how to run your program. You've proven yourself to be a winner. So tell us about that. How has that change been going from Dade to Broward?
Well, the only change was the location to me. As far as my philosophy and how my system works, that's not going to change. I'm bringing that with me,
Okay.
and hopefully, not only the players, the community, and like you said, I know they have a strong, following base, and that's what I love. So I love challenges, and I'm just gonna do what I've been doing for 29 years.
29 years. That's that number, T.
2-9.
29 years. Yeah,
Listen,
that's mine too.
longevity, success, literally the blueprint. And I love what you said about your system. And that's not going to change. You're just going to bring it with you. Over the years of you coaching, have you seen any difficulty dealing with your system? And how do you what do you do when someone has a problem with working with the system? I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very important. Now you're asking as far as a player or as the athletic director or the
No,
community or
you as the coach, when because you know that this system's worked. It's tried and it's true. And I know sometimes players can get a little bullheaded and
right.
they want to go outside of themselves. How do
Exactly.
you handle that when you know for sure, like it's proven. We can look in the history books. Your
Right.
system works. This is a fact. So how do you
Well,
handle that?
my thing with that is not every player is as good as the next person, and I understand that. I'm going to take you where you are and promise you, and I don't give too many promises, and promise that I'm going to, as I say, level up with your skills,
I
with
like that.
your socialism. I mean, the complete person in you, not just basketball.
Right.
And I'll tell you how I'll tell you how it has worked for many years, and I'll lay it out to you. Then it's up to you to follow my lead, because I'm not going to follow your lead. You got to follow my lead and trust me. And it's all about trust.
Yeah.
And I want to add that it's not just me. I want to throw a shout out to one of my assistant coaches, Reginald McNair, who's been with me for 21 years.
Oh man,
Yep,
yeah.
And
yep.
so he knows more about me than I know about myself. And it's not only me, it's him, and it's Lamont Evans, another assistant coach, and Lance Tejada, uh, Dawson, and that's about it. But I'm going to take you as a player. I'm going to take you as a player, academically and athletically, with my system. And in doing so, including academically, it's stating that this isn't the last stop as high school basketball. Don't you get an opportunity or have an opportunity to experience what I experienced as a collegiate player, and try and work with them in that capacity. But like you said, yeah, there are a couple of knuckleheads that will try you, but
Yeah.
like I tell them and the parent, I'm undefeated in that area, so don't even try
Mm,
to,
Talk your
you
talk,
just
coach.
follow my lead, because
yeah.
I've been blessed to get things right.
Right. You gotten them right. You proven yourself to get an A on the test, so you might as well copy off my paper.
Right, exactly.
So coach, you do you feel like the game has evolved? Like I was I'm a student of just philosophy, and I listen to John Maxwell, if y'all know who he is, a leadership coach. But he has a new book out called Leadership. And he kind of talks about a shift and saying that no one does things always the same because people and situations change. So I know you have your system in place, but do you think that there's a shift in the athletes nowadays, parents nowadays? You know,
There is a huge. That's a great question too. There's a huge shift in that area, and what we do is that we are, just like I said, we take you where you are at this moment, and then being patient and hoping
mm-hmm.
that you would get there, or be on the same page as us with the blueprint that we set in front of you, not only as the athlete but to the parent as well as, and trusting the system. And I am a sole believer, and it's been proven that it works.
That key word, trusting.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's what it is trusting the system. And nowadays you have these kids, they get besides themselves, they can't get out of their own way. And not only them, and then there's a parent, and then there are people that get in their head, oh, I'm transferring. Okay, by all means, go right ahead. You need me to take you there? I'll drive you there. You know, and those are some of the kids that you got to kind of deal with and prepare yourself for, because not all are keen to your system and really want to follow your system.
Mhm.
They want to get in their way and kind of like do their own thing. And their philosophy, some of them, not all, their philosophy, well, I'm gonna drop 50, I'm gonna drop 60. No, let's see if you can hold this man to 5 points.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh,
what I
Yeah.
want
talk
you
to
to do.
me.
And that other drop 50 and drop 40, that'll come in from your defense.
Mhm.
Coach.
Okay. So
That's
yeah.
deep. And you coached a talent, Kenny Boynton, who
Yeah.
was one of the premier players in Broward County at the time,
All right.
and he played hard for you. When you have a player like that that plays that hard, what do they do for their teammates? What does that show their teammates?
That's an awesome question, T. Will. What I did with and Kenneth Boynton is my godson,
Okay.
Mm.
and I didn't treat him any. Actually, I treated him harder than I would my normal kids, and working them. There's one day we had practice. After practice, sometimes I usually take him home, but there was one day he just, we don't all have good days in practice. He had a bad day in practice. So I was driving aside with him, and he lived off of Sample. And I wasn't going to take him home. I was going to ride side by side and having him jog home,
Oh no.
and with that attitude. And so it's no favoritism. I don't care how talented you are, you still have room for improvement, whether it's with the game or with your social life, your academic life, or whatever. So I don't treat. That's one thing I've never done. Treated my kids any different than the next man. The 15th person is just important as the top, the number one player,
Yeah. What
and
is your
he
legacy?
respected that.
There we go.
Good. What is your legacy? Do you ever stop and even think about your legacy? Now I know it's not completed. Like the books or the chapters in your books are not complete because you just said we're going for another one. So we understand that it's still continuing, but have you sat back and thought about the legacy that you've already if you stop coaching today, the legacy that you've already put in place? Have you ever thought about that?
Boy, y'all are shoot some good questions here.
Hey, we prepping you, coach. We prepping you.
Yeah, but what believe it or not, I would say, and I'm being honest and not facetious, about 5 years ago, I realized that I was pretty good at this here and
Yeah.
coaching.
5 years ago, coach.
5 years ago, I
He's
promise you,
modest.
5 years ago, I realized that I was pretty good in coaching, and the blueprint was okay.
Yeah.
So right now, my goal is to win that 10th one,
Mm.
and it's in reference to some of my mentors, the butching, especially Marcia Pender.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep.
She left with 10.
With
Great
10.
woman. Used to talk with her all the time about basketball and the whole works, and Abby Ward, and of course Carla Harris, and there are a lot
Appreciate.
of men that Butch Ingram. There are quite a few. We wouldn't have time for me to name them all that I look up to, and I managed to incorporate their blueprint with mine in, and it's working. So it is working. But as far as I mean, I love the sport. I don't cheat the sport. Um, maybe after a few more years, I'll just say a few. I don't know if that few means 5 years, 10 years, but after a few years, I'll sit back and really kick back and say, I think I did well for the sport, and think I passed my the classes that I took from my
Yeah.
mentors.
Okay. So you've been coaching 29 years, right, Coach?
29 years. Next year will be year 30.
Okay, 29 years. And he said 5 years ago, he
5 years
just
ago.
realized he was pretty good at this. So, this
I,
system, people, I need y'all to listen. This
Mhm.
system has been in place for 24 years, tried and true. It took him 24 years to realize he was pretty good at coaching.
Yeah.
So, it's
pretty
not
good at
overnight,
coaching.
people. This is one
Yeah.
of the legends. I'm
Yeah.
telling
Takes
you.
No,
time.
it's
Takes
not
time.
overnight. I mean, you and the thing is, you learn from other people, and I didn't just learn. I don't just learn from basketball, and by the way, I know you're both women, but I love watching women collegiate women basketball.
Absolutely.
Love watching it because you get an aspect of both worlds. You know, the men's supposed to be very, of course, are very athletic, but
Hmm.
how can you coach a player that plays under the rim?
Hmm.
Yeah.
You know, but nowadays these women are dunking and
Duncan.
closing their eyes backwards and
Yeah.
all that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I studied women's basketball of seeing how it works with them um, playing under the rim, not being able to dunk, but you know that has since changed. But yeah, I enjoy women's basketball and learning from other folks, other schools, and other sports, whether it's volleyball, track, um, football, whatever, you know, and watching their coaches.
Ah, we lost him.
We lost him,
Okay,
but
They come back
second
on.
back.
yeah, there you go.
There you
Yep.
go. Yeah. You still you hear us, Coach?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you back. But before you, I mean, you might have lost your train of thought. I want to mention what Jay Wig over here. Jay Wig said, I knew he looked familiar. He ruined my senior year. And Javon played for Miami Norland.
Ah,
My big brother, Lawton Williams, and Melvin have had their battles as well. So two great legendary coaches, and now in the same county.
ooh.
And yeah, and I saw them square off. So they have some battles last season. So we're gonna see what the future holds. But what is that like? You know, playing against coaching against another legendary coach like that. Like Coach Lawton is right. I think he has six, seven, or something like that.
Right. It's all in fun. However, you want to win. You know, you want to win.
Yeah. You want to
So
win.
it's and by the way, Lawton is my frat brother. Give shouts out to him, Cap Alpha
Yeah.
Psi. And you know, he's one of many, and I'll say many, that you can't help but have respect for. Because I could be wrong, but I see there are similarities in our blueprint,
Oh yeah.
and it's just it's going to be a good rivalry,
Yeah.
and just looking forward to the competitiveness of it, and like I said, I respect Lawton to the utmost, and I know he's been in Dade County, and I know what he's bringing, and I know he understands and knows what I'm bringing as well.
There we go.
They respect you. You both have mutual respect for each other. He says nothing but great things about you, you know. So y'all have a mutual respect for each other, and that's just the competitive nature, you know. And you both want to win, you know. That's what it is. You want to win, you know.
Exactly,
And it's good for the
exactly.
game. That's definitely good for the game.
Oh
Definitely good for the
yes, it's very very good for the game, and I want to add that, you know, and coming from Blanchile, which is a predominantly black school, and then going to Northwestern, which is the same, and not saying that I cannot, which I did coach at Chaminade for 1 year, but I I I work well with my people. I'll just put it like that. And if
Yeah.
someone is getting a negative vibe from that, oh well. But I work well with my people, and helping my people grow, and not just with the players, but as coaches as well.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest thing is that we need to build some type of forum, a Black coaches forum, and
Oh,
and and
mm,
and go from there, because we're labeled as the athletic coaches, and that
yeah,
what upsets me the most. Well, you got players, all you got to do is just roll the ball out and tell them to play. No, we understand the philosophy of the game and the X's and the O's and all of that, but that's what has been tampered on us as minority coaches,
mm-hmm.
and I hope to erase it fully. Not only myself, but I know there are other minority coaches out there that want to erase that fully out of people's mind, so that way the world can see that we can coach too. We know the X's and O's, and it's not like throwing a ball out and just say, go ahead and play.
Oh, that's deep. Lawrence said he wanted to thank you for being a great inspiration to his baby sister Octavia Blue, who spoke highly of you when she started playing basketball. So yeah, you've definitely impacted
Wow,
lives across the spectrum.
wow, that's good. I haven't seen Octavia in a minute. I remember when she was in high school, and when she was at, I believe it was Nova,
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
and she came to one of my practices, and the girl actually dunked, and I nearly fell off out of the bleachers, and of course, I think T. Will, if I don't know if you were with that group when we went to Atlanta with South Broward
Yes.
playing a tournament, because
Yep.
Abby's like me. I'm not too keen on flying anywhere. So we had a charter bus, and it worked out. It worked out very well. So I remember that
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
when I was
That's what
at
Lawton and
DFW.
I did one time. He's like you. He's not a flyer. He gonna drive. So we got a charter bus, took both teams up to Atlanta to play in the tournament. So that's that brother sisterhood. Like we look out for each other. And I love that in our
Right.
community.
And that's what makes it work as a whole too. And when you have your head girls coach and the head boys coach working together,
Yep.
and being the eyes and the voice for one another,
Yep.
Yeah.
and helping their kids meet their ultimate goal.
Yeah.
So, Coach, we know the impact that you've had on players, not just your own, but others. But what impact has players had on you?
Wow. The when they come, the ones that you really have impacted, whether it was a good or bad situation, and by them being older and understanding the reason why I did certain things, or the reason why I made that
Yeah.
decision, and they come back
Yeah.
to the gym, and then they talk to the present kids now, and they participate in open gym, and and then telling them some of the stories that
The
they
stories.
experienced, and it is a fun thing, and the impact that they put on me is just following them, and hearing about that they're married, they got their degrees, which is the most important thing with me. When my boys go off to school on a scholarship or whatever, they come out with degrees, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the most important thing to me. And then they build their families, and then go from there. So it is, and they keep me going. They keep
Yeah.
me going.
But that's another testament that the system is working. When they come back and you can see that one, they tell you, man, coach, I get it now. When you were telling me to do this, and that, and I now I get it. And then you can see the results in their lives. That's, I know for me, just answering the question, I know I'm not the one being interviewed, but I had a moment that reminds me of, why I'm doing what I'm doing. and it inspires you. It gives you that extra energy, that push.
Right, exactly. And even now with the experience that I have, um, I even surprised by going to other games, and especially the younger coaches,
Hmm.
who I've uh, inspired or whatever, and sit at some of their games, just pop in their games frequently, and let them know that I was there watching them, although we weren't playing them or they're
Yeah.
in different classes or whatever, just to show them that I respect them and appreciate what they're doing.
That's awesome.
That's big. That's big, Coach. The goat walk in the gym and you like, oh, so that's big, Coach. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Mr. Pender said, each one teach one. Shout out to Mr. Pender. We love you. We appreciate you. Yeah, I agree with that. Each one teach one, giving back and keeping each other going, helping each other succeed.
That what makes it work there. That is what makes it work, and just continuing. And when I'll know when it's time for me to hang it up,
Yeah.
but I still got that energy, and I got great people around me, and that's very important. Got great people around me, and the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. Now, when it's time for me to write this book, I'm gonna call on you two young ladies.
Oh, we're gonna be there for
Yeah,
you,
Got
Coach.
you. We
yeah,
got you,
definitely,
coach,
man.
all day. That's
Because
easy.
I'm not that good of a writer. I'm a math man. I'm a math teacher for 30 something years. But when it comes to writing, I mean I can write, but I'm not
But I
one
bet
of
you have a
those.
story to tell.
Yeah, I wanna get that out. It's long awaiting, so I wanna get that out too.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're
coach, I,
gonna.
I I got a hack for you. So you don't have to sit there and write it. You can voice text it, right? You
Oh,
say it, and then you can get it transcribed. We could talk about that off air, but yeah, you don't got to
Yeah,
sit and write it now.
you don't have to sit and write it and worry about
oh,
grammar
Got
okay.
and
the
all
hack
that
for
stuff.
you. Got the
Yeah,
hack for
See,
you.
see, I'm not that computer or that technology type person.
well, we're gonna have a session off camera to get you
We
started
got
because we gotta start documenting this stuff and getting it
Oh,
going. We're gonna make it real easy for you, and then we'll get it. We're gonna get you right, Coach. You just
okay,
we'll
that
be in
that's
touch. We're gonna get you right. Oh, Bob Moore Marco, the man himself. Melvin Randall, days at Deerfield, and of course, also, I appreciate you. We all have
yeah.
joined the veteran and yeah, we appreciate you, Rob, and hanging out. He's been a big staple in the whole state of Florida,
Mhm.
running major tournaments. And I appreciate you always welcoming my team and rolling out the red carpet for my team. Every event we attend that you're hosting is always a great one. So we appreciate you.
Oh yeah, that's
Well, Coach,
awesome.
you got
That is
any
awesome.
final words? What would you tell you? Let me ask this question before we go. What would you tell your younger self, being now 29 years in the game, impacting young people? What would you tell your younger self?
Um, well, well, y'all shoot me these good questions here. What will I tell my younger self? Um, to be to be patient,
I
to
like
be
that.
patient with the talent of a player, and to drive more and get more into where that player is and take them from there.
Mm.
Whereas when I first started, I mean, I couldn't understand why you could not do a left hand layup. I could not understand that. I mean, even if there are some that their dominant hand was left hand, they couldn't do a layup.
Yeah,
But and being patient and just rather than um, I'm not going to say shoot bad words at them because I don't talk like that. Okay, so I won't reveal myself in that way.
all right, all right.
But
What
work
happens in
work
your
with
gym
them and
stays in your gym.
Yes,
be a
yes,
be a little more patient in that aspect with the athlete, because you really don't know what is going on, whether it's at home or in school. But I
Right.
think patient. Yeah, I tell my younger self to be a little bit more patient with the student athlete as a whole, and I'm talking about in the classroom, out of the classroom, and on the court.
Ah,
Good stuff.
shoot, coach. That's good stuff. Toya, shout out to Toya. We appreciate you tuning in.
Blanche
She's been
Ely
on for a
legend.
few days. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's Dr. Jordan.
that's Dr.
I know
Jordan right
Dr.
there.
Jordan from Blanche Ely
Yeah.
days. Oh yeah.
And Coach Sears, Will said Will is an amazing poet. Appreciate you tuning in, my brother. But he also agreed with you, Coach, about others not respecting um, our black male coaches and the ability to do X's and O's, and ability to excel in that way. So you're not alone in that feeling. And I don't understand why, because we definitely and I've watched, only male that I've been able to see consistently like that is my brother Lawton Williams. But I've
Hmm.
watched him excel with sometimes mediocre talent, like kids that, and I'm asking him like, how did you get that kid those minutes? He finds a way to pull out and to develop these kids, and so I mean, I'm sure you do the same thing, and it is a part of your X's and O's to be
Right.
able to fit maybe some kids who don't have the major talent, but that you find a way to put them in a system that works for them to be able to be on the floor, and that's definitely a testament to your ability to coach.
Right, and it's important. We still got some folks that think that basketball is just a seasonal sport. No, it's a year-round sport.
Right,
After March, that state playoffs, you got 2 weeks off, and we're in the gym
right.
preparing for the following year. But you have some coaches that, and I don't mean to knock. Well, yes, I do. I do mean to knock them. That are seasonal coaches that are hurting the kids. And then when it's time for me to play your team, I'm supposed to back off and
Hmm.
tell the kids to back up. No,
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 you better
I,
be ready.
I can't do that, and I won't do that. But I may change up the defense just to take a little fire off, in respect to the kids.
Yes, right.
But we got to get some of these more coaches to think of basketball as a seasonal sport that will help their athlete even more in having that chance in going on to the next level.
I agree with that. T, you
Coach,
got anything for coach?
yeah, I do. See, I've watched Coach when I was younger, and watching him while I was younger because he mentioned Octavia Blue, and I watched her. I've never seen Coach Randall wear the same suit twice. And mind you, he is one of the best dressed coaches in the country.
Star,
In the
my
country.
brother Star.
Coach, who is your stylist? Because I never saw you wear the same
That
suit twice.
that was in my early years.
Yes, 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 sir.
Now as you can see, a polo shirt
Hurt.
and sometimes slacks and sometimes jeans. And my back in the days, my styles, I used to go down to Miami. I mean, everything works in a full circle.
Yeah.
Russell's.
Rasus, all right.
Russell's got a lot of my money and still getting some.
Yeah, they're gonna get you right. Rasus will get
Oh
you
yeah,
right.
yes they will.
Shout out to them. We about to have to hit Rasul's up for this public
Yeah.
service announcement. But now we appreciate you, coach. It's always a pleasure, and I mean we go way way back, and it's
Yeah.
an honor to be able to call you my friend. And we thank you for taking the time, and thank you for everything that you're giving back to our young men. Thank you for making a difference, and it's men like you that really keep our community going. So I thank you personally.
Well, you're very, very welcome. I feel that it's my duty. It is my duty to give back and to do what I'm doing, and I love and enjoy what I'm doing, and I definitely, along with others, many others, appreciate what you all are doing, and that's why I was so excited to be on your show and interview anytime, any place, anywhere. You got my respect and you have my support.
I
Uh,
would appreciate that.
Appreciate you. You stay blessed, and I'll see you on the court this season.
You got to take him through the hot cross zone. See,
Oh
hold on.
yeah, hold
But
on,
look,
coach. Oh,
Mr.
we got
Marco,
hot cross
Mr.
zone.
Marco says you was profiling like Ric Flair.
I was,
Oh, Bob, he was out there like Ric Flair stage shot. Yeah.
oh gosh.
Oh,
That's
coach, I almost
crazy.
forgot the hot cross zone. We got a little questions that we shoot at you. Real simple questions. You ready?
Okay,
All
let's
right. So, what's your favorite food?
my favorite food is I love lasagna.
Lasagna. So you Italian man, loaded with cheese. Put that cheese on.
Oh yes, and I always tell my people and my friends, I think I'm part mice because I love cheese so much.
All right. So after you eat that lasagna, you got dessert or no dessert?
Um, it it depends if I have room because I can throw down on some lasagna. I may
Oh yeah,
have
you
that
might not have
dessert
room.
on a later date or a latter time maybe.
All right. So at 29 years of coaching, do you prefer a fast paced game or you want to take it slow and be more controlled and methodical in your half court set?
Dr. Harris, I'm always a fast pace. I call my system track basketball.
Oh,
Ooh,
he putting
94
the press
feet.
94 feet.
94 feet in your
94
face.
feet. Even if
Uh,
when they go to the bathroom, I expect my players to go with them.
was that Nolan Richardson? That's Nolan Richardson, right? With the
94 feet of
Arkansas
hell. Yeah.
back in the
Yes,
day.
yes,
Yes.
that's
Yeah, he pressing them out. They come out the doggone warm ups. He got the full court press. So, all right, coach. So we got another question. You picking your team as the head coach? You starting with a point guard or you starting with a post player?
I'm starting with the point guard because
Look at the point guard.
that point guard is me out there on the court. So
Okay.
I relay a lot of tension and a lot of pressure in the point guard hands.
I'm telling
Okay.
you, extension of the coach.
Yeah. I never disagreed. I just like to see what our people gonna say. I like it though. All right. All right. So, coach, last question, and you may
Okay.
have to think about this. But what was the most competitive era that you coached in? And you've coached in a couple of eras, but like we're in the 2020s now, right? So you
Right.
won across. So what was the most competitive time? Like you won 9 titles, but to you, what era was really competitive for you?
I would have to say um the mid '90s.
Mm,
The mid '90s. I would have to say the mid '90s to um 2002.
mm.
The most competitive. I
Do
mean,
you
during
recall a
that
particular
era,
team, another particular team that you kept running
well,
into?
there's my frat brother we meet in regionals,
Oh, okay,
Lawton, the Miami New Orleans, and we had I mean, like I said, things go around in a complete circle with Miami Northwestern.
okay.
Um, who else?
Yeah.
Deerfield when I was at Ely and Boyd Anderson. There were a lot of teams, and during that era, I felt that you don't have. Well, my schedule, it wasn't. I never build a slouch schedule. I mean, I can build a schedule that I can win 20 games
Mm-hmm.
a year, but is that really helping your team?
Right.
No. But we had to play night in and night out. The mid '90s and the 2002.
Yeah.
Those were some tough years
You had to come out and play. And
and
that's what
come
a
out
lot
and
of
play.
teams don't realize. You come into the playoffs with a 20-2 record, but you haven't played anybody.
Right,
You're more
and
worried
that
about the
what
record
kills.
instead of the experience.
Right, and that's what I always feel that you got to prepare. There are many times you got to throw those kids in the fire and see how they respond, and then to see how you respond as well, and you learn from it. And all it is it's preparation for postseason.
All it is.
That's
That's
all
all
it
it
is.
is.
Love
Well,
it.
coach, again, like I always get off saying like, man, but this is one of my favorite. Like, I really love tonight. I really did love tonight. So I really, really appreciate you coming on and finding time to hang out with us tonight.
Yes. Thank you.
Right. Anytime. Like I said, anytime. Because I love what you young ladies are doing, for the sport, for the communities, for the world,
Yeah.
for the
Thank
world.
you.
And I really appreciate and respect and value you all.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, Coach.
much.
And thank you for having me on your show.
All right. You
Thank
be
you.
blessed, Coach. See you
Have a
soon.
good night.
All
All right.
right, y'all. Be safe.
All
Thank
right.
you, Coach. Good
All
luck this
right.
season.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. Hey, I'm gonna have to come on down today
Hey,
down
I'm
until
telling you.
3:05.
Wait, let me tell you something. When they play, when Norland and Northwestern play, I'm telling you, the gym is
I already
packed.
know.
Is so
I already know.
when I see these schedules, I'm definitely let you know.
Yeah,
That we
listen, get me in. Get me in. Listen,
oh yeah,
I'm coming. I'll tell them I'm your manager.
yeah. Oh, I'll get you in,
I need
teammate. I'm
floor
gonna get you in
seat. I
the
need
door.
floor
So,
seat.
hey, I'm gonna get you on the floor. Is that no? I'm gonna get you on the floor.
Yeah, I need to be on the floor.
What Lawrence said, he remember Deerfield being at Fort Walton Beach when announcer, what he say? I can't got
like the
proud.
Bucks didn't have a chance.
Oh,
That's when Coach Randall was coaching at Deerfield.
oh man.
Listen,
So he said it was some tough years, huh?
oh, definitely in the mid '90s to 2002, absolutely, because I know Dillard had Keon Doolin, Clarence Gilbert. Then you had Miami High had
Yeah.
Miami
Oh
High had a stick. So man,
yeah.
those teams were tough. Those teams were tough.
I just thought about that area. Yeah, that was some tough basketball back then.
Yeah,
Definitely.
those teams were tough. I mean, and he's not lying when he's saying that you had to play night in, night out.
Yeah.
Night in, night out. Yep, Tim James. There you go. Yep, Tim
Oh yeah.
James, UD. Yeah, I'm telling you, it was some hitters back then. Definitely hitters back then.
All right. So man, we killed the Udonis. Oh yeah, Udon. Yeah, we can't Miami High had just a lot
They
going
had a
on.
stick, man. They had a whole stick
Yeah,
out there, didn't
they
they?
did. They did. But hey, we killed another amazing crossover. Hey, I want to show off my I can't see it good
Oh,
because
because you blew it out, but I got you. I got you, Tim.
yeah, there you go. Y'all see it.
The
Y'all see it.
crossover. Listen,
Got the
we're gonna have merch
crossover.
coming soon for y'all. We're gonna have merch coming soon for
We're
y'all.
gonna have
Yeah.
some merch put together for you guys to be able to buy in and appreciate the consistent support. All of you that's tuning in every week to see what's happening in the community, what guests we have that's gonna bring edification to the people, and we thank you.
Yeah.
We thank you. Got anything, teammate?
Yeah, what I want to say is this: for those of you that are listening, and no matter what field you're in, one of the key things that Coach mentioned was having a system. You
Mm,
do not get successful if you don't have a system. And
right.
one thing that I like that he also stated too was being true to your system. That means trusting in it, having faith in it, and never deviating from what you know works. So
Yeah.
when you have that in place, when you have those fundamental, foundational things in place, like that's success.
Mm.
Man, we got to help him with this book because I'm ready to read it right now.
I'm ready. I know he has a message to tell, and I wanna, and I'm not gonna put words in your mouth because that was your message, but I want to piggyback off your message a little bit, T.
Mhm.
People think what you said don't deviate. It doesn't mean that you can't make modifications. What they need to hear is that you said the key, the essence of the
Yeah,
system needs to remain the same. You're gonna make some adjustments, some modifications as life changes. You're gonna have to, but the
yeah,
essence of what you stand for and what you want your team, your business, or whatever it is you're running. Shout out to Jay Wig. He's running a Raw Sports Academy. I hope I got that name right, Wig. But and he's teaching the young students about playing chess. And
okay,
chess is a thinking game. So if you
yes,
could teach them about playing chess and getting them to thinking differently, that so we do have to the core of what you have stays the same, T. But you
core
can make some
values,
modifications and introduce some new things like a game of chess, and not necessarily football only, to make them start thinking about moves. And when they get on that field and they're looking at that playbook, they understand making moves, making adjustments, thinking ahead of, because you got to think ahead in chess. You got to think of, what if I do this? They got to do that. So that is what life is really about. Having that system in place, the core of it in place, but be prepared to shift if you have to shift a little bit. So I
Core
like that.
values. Hey, core values. I love it. I love it. Core
We about to
values.
see the sermon tonight.
Hey, you know what we do? We're back here next week, 7 p.m. You guys, we definitely love the support. Keep sharing it. You can our YouTube channel. If you put in the crossover on YouTube, we're there. Put in the crossover on Facebook, we're there. Look for the logo that's at the top. We definitely appreciate you guys' support, and we want to keep bringing you the guests that brings value
Hey,
because
let's
that's
talk about, we might do a shift like this. So next week, we got the great, legendary Tracy Reed coming in the house. So Tracy Reed will be with us next week. And so I hope y'all tune in, check out Tracy Reed and see what she's crossed over into. Great, legendary local player here in Miami, Florida. So I'm excited about having her with us. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Raw Youth
Raw Youth
Academy.
Academy.
There
Raw
we
Youth
go.
Academy. He's doing an amazing job. I follow him and what he's doing with those kids. So shout out to you over there. If you want to get your young people involved in chess, and he does training as well. So shout out to Jay. We appreciate you, son.
And for those of you that don't know, because remember, Carla likes to be humble. That's just her. Go to notesfromacoach.org, pick up her book. She does have the workbook and the study guide along with it. Check that out. Get it, buy it as a gift for somebody, get it for
Yeah,
yourself. But hey,
yeah,
show that support. This is
yeah.
this
Appreciate you.
about to be a best-selling author that we got here
Yeah,
on the show. That's hosting the podcast with me, and she's so modest and humble. But I got it.
yeah.
I'm
I
gonna be the
appreciate
PG on this one. I'm the coach in the court. Go get the book.
Yeah, it's live now. The paper book is live. The ebook was live last week, and now the paper book is live. So if you don't like technology like that, you want to have it in your hand, you can have it in your hand and write in it and things like that. So I appreciate that shout out. Yeah, sometimes I'm just that person. I gotta work on that. That's something I have to work on. But I love giving out them flowers to people. So I appreciate you throwing that flower over to me. Really do appreciate it.
100%. All
Hey,
right. You
like
guys
we
have a good
always
night.
say, use the game. Don't let the game use you. Until next time, y'all be blessed.
Good night and pay attention.
Night. Pay attention.